Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily Reddit content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies. Today we're jumping back into r/EntitledParents. I was gonna do choosing beggars today, but I'm running a little bit behind. Choosing beggars takes a little bit more editing, so we'll save that for tomorrow and jump back into EntitledParents again, because there's actually some pretty good stuff here today. So let's not delay any further and jump right into the first story. Entitled mother spits in my face, and now I might have coronavirus. Don't freak out yet, bro. Hi Reddit, hope you're doing well out there. My week has been absolutely insane, to the point where I doubt anyone is going to believe this story, but I just need to get this off my chest, so here goes. So, as some of you guys may know, I work at a long-term mental health facility. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, an entitled mother had come in and admitted her daughter, let's call her Lucy, to the facility, saying that Lucy was experiencing symptoms associated with schizophrenia and had talked about being suicidal. Now, there are 2 things that I need to make very clear here. First, due to the current pandemic, our facility is not allowing people to have physical visits with any of our residents for the time being, although we do offer virtual visits. Second, once a parent admits a minor to our facility for treatment, we are legally not allowed to release them until a doctor confirms that they aren't a danger to themselves or others. When entitled mother admitted Lucy, we made sure to thoroughly explain these 2 facts, among many other rules and legal stuff, so that there would be no confusion. Entitled mother seemed to understand our conditions perfectly. She signed all the necessary paperwork. I thought this was a pretty open and shut case. Oh God, was I wrong. Monday morning, I'm at the front desk with one of my managers. Entitled mother came back to the facility with 3 young kids in tow. Entitled mother sat all of the kids down on a bench by the front desk and told them to wait there while she went to the bathroom, and then she walked off. When I looked over, the kids were holding various gifts, so initially I assumed that they were just dropping off gifts for Lucy. Then I noticed that one of the kids had a large glitter sign that read, "You're coming home today, Lucy." After reading the sign, I could have sworn my blood ran cold, because Lucy is 1,000,000% not ready to go home. Although she's made some small progress, she's still very much suicidal and still isn't lucid enough to function in the real world. So now I had to tell these 3 little kids that their sister wasn't going home today, and the thought of that conversation alone was enough to make me want to scream. I quickly went and told my manager, and she promised to help me break the news to entitled mother. When entitled mother came back from the bathroom, my manager motioned for her to come talk a few feet away from the kids who were still sitting on the bench. I quickly joined them, and the conversation went like this. Manager, ma'am, it's come to our attention that you might be planning on taking Lucy home today. Is that true? Entitled mother, I'm not planning on doing anything. I am taking my daughter home. OP, I'm so sorry, but you can't do that. Entitled mother, okay, you shut your friggin' mouth, kid. I'm like twice your size. I'm 4'10". Basically everyone's bigger than me. I could beat you into the floor if I wanted to, so maybe grow a few inches before you try talking. Now where is my daughter? Manager, first of all, if I hear you speak to her like that again, I will have security escort you out. Secondly, your daughter has not yet fully recovered, and legally, we can't release her into your custody until she has. Entitled mother, well, no one ever told me. OP, we told you this before we let you admit Lucy. You signed papers that said you understood this. Entitled mother, I didn't know what I was signing. You people tricked me into signing away my daughter, and I won't stand for this mistreatment any longer. Show me the paperwork right now. Manager, you got a copy of all the forms when Lucy was admitted. Entitled mother, well, I need more. I have 3 children at home, and things get lost. OP, if we give you another set of copies, will that help you understand our rules a bit better? I can go over it with you again if you need help. Entitled mother, I don't think that will be necessary. This won't take long. Just bring me the copies. So my manager went to print some more copies of Lucy's file and entitled mother's paperwork, and it was just me and entitled mother. As soon as my manager turned the corner to go back to the front desk, I saw entitled mother begin marching right up to me. She grabbed my face mask, pulled it outwards, and spit into my face. I screamed, as generic as that may sound, but it was just so gross, and it felt so gross. As soon as I screamed, the kids jumped up from the bench and began to beg their mom to stop. If any of those kids are reading this, I appreciate you. My manager was yelling for security the second she heard me yell. Meanwhile, I was just standing there trying to rub the spit off of my face. Ugh! I guess entitled mother realized that she was in trouble, so she tried to quickly scoop up her kids and leave, but luckily our security guys are really awesome, and they got to her before she left. The police were called, and they asked me if I wanted to press charges, but I decided against it. No, OP! Always press charges. Always! Ugh. I knew she was going to have to pay a major fine for this, and I felt like that was enough of a punishment. So after this I thought, wow, that was wild, but it's over now. Nope. A few days later, I developed a cough and a pretty nasty fever. It didn't take me long to make a connection between this and the spitting incident. I got tested for COVID-19, and now I'm just waiting for the results. Hopefully they'll be here Monday. I'm hoping with all of my might that I just have the flu or something, and I might, but I really don't want to take any chances here. I'm petrified that if I do have it, that I might have unknowingly passed it off to someone else. I don't know what I would do if one of my residents or my family got sick because of me. There's not much I can do, but I'm hoping for the best and preparing for the worst. Guys, please, please, please stay home. I know it sucks, but it would be terrible if any of you got sick. And I would be really sad if you did catch this disease and it could have been prevented. Stay safe out there. Try to stay positive. And remember that everything's going to be okay. Even if it doesn't feel like it right now, it will be. Take your time and be gentle with yourself. I believe in you. Okay, bye. God, I just hate spit. The thought of somebody spitting on me, ugh! Spit just sticks everywhere and smells horrible, and oh God, I just hate it. That's the worst thing I can imagine. Well, no, I guess it's not, because the worst thing I can imagine is getting spit on, but also catching COVID. I think you'll probably be okay, OP. I think you might be having just like a little bit of hypochondria, something like that, which is really easy to do nowadays. We had a typhoon in the Philippines here recently, so it wasn't that cool. The weather changed, and with the weather change came like coughs and fevers and stuffy noses and all this stuff, and yeah, everybody in our house thought that they had COVID, but guess what? We didn't. It was just the weather, so I'm fingers crossed for you, OP, that it's something similar to that. It's gonna be alright. You're young, you're healthy, you got many more Reddit posts to make and many more entitled parents to fight off. Anyways, let's jump into the next story. Parent tells my child, 2, to give her toys away. That's not gonna happen. And it's quite topical since I have a gabbling little boy next to me. What a talker. I have a secondhand shop in my house. Prices are cheap and usually folks are nice and sweet. But there's this one lady who gets on everyone's nerves. Everything is an emergency. Her kids need pants. She needs shirts. Her husband doesn't have whatever. She always comes at 4 p.m. when her kids come home from school. I tell her it's not a good time because our hours are 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. 2 times a week. Please don't come after 3:30 p.m. because you won't have time to look. But it's an emergency. Her something needs whatever. Because she's standing at my door, I let her in. I know, that's my fault. Cue her 4 kids coming out of the elevator. They are hungry and tired and obnoxious. She's taking her time looking at everything that I have in stock. Her kids are asking me for food. 2 of the boys run into my kitchen and take my broom and mop, then head over to the living room to take stuff out of the top shelf of my bookshelf. Excuse me, I say, these are not toys, and you don't have permission to take anything that is not on the shop shelves. The mom slowly says, Boys, put those things back, to which they ignore. So I tell them that they need to go outside. My daughter's playing nicely by herself with a doll and a doll stroller. One of this family's girls wants to play with the stroller and doll, but not with my daughter, so they begin to argue. My daughter says, I don't want to share my dollies today. I respect my daughter's decision. She doesn't want to share, so she doesn't have to. Here's where I realize that the mom is an entitled parent. She kneels down beside my daughter and tells her, You can be big and let my daughter play with your toys. She needs to play with them. I'm not finished here. OP, my daughter said no. You need to follow her decision. Entitled parent, But she's 2. She doesn't have an opinion. My daughter doesn't have a stroller and she wants to play. OP, I'm sorry your 2-year-old doesn't have a stroller. My 2-year-old said, not today. Don't make her feel bad because she made a choice that you don't agree with. This happens about once a week. The lady comes in, tells her kids it's okay to tear up my house and bully my daughter. I had to make a rule that no kids are allowed to come. I am not your free babysitter. I know how you feel, OP. I don't want any more kids in my house than the ones that I have. I actually sent my little boy's cousin home last week because he wanted to be a jerk. He was trying to take things from my little boy, so, alright, go ahead, go on. Go play with your own toys. Thought he was cock of the walk. I'll show him who rules this roost. My wife was obviously a little upset by it, but whatever. I ain't got time, I ain't got inclination, okay? I just don't like having more people than necessary in my house. That's why I'm so baffled that you run this shop out of your home. God. I guess it's a good source of extra income, but I definitely don't know if it would be worth the money to me. Even just 2 times a week. I can't have people in here touching all my stuff. Especially with COVID going on. You need to watch out, OP. Dang. Anyways, let's jump into the next story. Entitled family crashes our house during exams. Hooray! Welcome, welcome. First time posting on the sub, and I am writing this via phone, so apologies for any mistakes. Cast! Me! OP! What a shocker. EA entitled aunt. EU entitled uncle. EC1 cousin. EZ2 cousin. Entitled cousins, I assume. Backstory. I live in India, where guests are to be treated with the highest honor. My entitled aunt is my dad's younger sister, who loves to travel. Entitled cousin 1 and 2 are both younger than 10, 8 and 6. Plot. So, me and my brothers, older, annual exams were held in March. So my aunt decides to visit then because she wanted to go somewhere else in the second week of April. Note that entitled cousin 1 and 2's exams were already over. 6-year-old taking an exam? Good luck. So she booked airplane tickets and told my parents about it after they had paid and everything. So of course they told them that it was not a good time, but my aunt and uncle couldn't change it now. And also because she had never been to our city and wanted to explore. Entitled aunt had the option to come over 1 month later after she visited the other place, but of course not. So although I did finish my syllabus 2 weeks earlier, yeah, I'm a nerd, I still needed to revise because these were important exams. So they came over just 2 days before our exams, and as you can probably imagine, their kids just constantly annoyed us and didn't let us study. They'd want to play games with us or watch TV at a loud volume. We couldn't even say anything because they'd take offense and start crying or whining to entitled aunt. Eventually I complained to my parents, but they couldn't be rude to entitled aunt as word spreads fast in this family, so they just told us that it's okay if we didn't score so well this time. They actually roamed the city only on 2 occasions, and that's it. So for 2 weeks, we had to deal with this BS. I still got above average marks, and now entitled aunt and entitled uncle have been told to tell us before booking tickets to our place. I know there's no juicy ending or anything, but it took a lot of patience to deal with entitled cousin 1 and 2. TLDR. Culture is always an interesting thing. Like, yeah, my wife got really mad at me for kicking my nephew out of my house when he was, not getting along with my son. And a lot of the time, I will respect different cultures and stuff like that until it starts to affect somebody else. You know what I mean? If you've got screaming children in the living room that are disrupting everybody's work, basically, then send them packing. Who cares? Yeah, culturally something. You know, if grandma tries to come down and tell me that what I did wasn't right, then we can talk it out. You know what I mean? At least she will probably be more amicable to talking than entitled aunt and entitled uncle. I put them on the streets. Like, here you go. Pack it up. Get out. Enjoy your vacation. Hate it. Anyways, one last story, and then I'm gonna get out of here. You can't have breasts bigger than mine. Why? Because I'm a man? Just jokes. I'm adopted, and my adoptive mother has always been very thin. She's currently a size 6, and freaking out that she's morbidly obese. Needless to say, I did not have the best relationship to food and weight growing up. I hit puberty early and blossomed, with hips, butt, and breasts. By the time I was 14, I was 130 pounds with rather large breasts. I was measured as a triple D at the bra store. My mother refused to believe this and completely freaked out because it was
utterly unreasonable that I'd have bigger breasts than her.
I would have to cut my breasts with my hands to prevent them from spilling out of the bra when I bent over. I couldn't run or jump without them bouncing out. My mother thought this meant that I needed an underwire bra, so she bought me a bunch and insisted that I wear them, rather than the less painful, non-wired bras. Do you have any idea how uncomfortable it is to be wearing an A cup when you're a triple D? I really don't. Very uncomfortable, I assume. I literally have scars under my breasts, and on the sides of them, from the underwire digging in so deeply. It's been years, and I'm still not over it. I'm still very bitter and upset. Every time I look at myself naked in the mirror, I see those scars on my side, and I get angry. I'm so glad you're past this situation now, OP. It's definitely not something worth dwelling on. You know, every person is beautiful. They'll find somebody that finds them attractive, regardless of any flaws or blemishes or whatever. Trust me, I've got many blemishes, and my wife seems to see right past them, so remain hopeful. Try not to focus too much on your physical appearance, because in the end, it doesn't really matter. It's what's on the inside that counts, so just work on improving yourself and do the best you can. Keep your chin up, OP, and I hope that all of you will do the same. In addition, I hope that you'll like, comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy this video. Keep yourselves safe out there. Always, always wash your hands. Heck, you can do it right when this video's over. And oh look, the video's over.